everyone. You're listening to Rudy Ray and Joe, and this is Keith Simon with Keith's Financial Fix. Today, we're going to discuss an awesome subject when it comes to budgeting. The question that I have for you guys today is, why do I want to budget? So, why do you want to budget? Have you ever even thought about budgeting? Budgeting can be a big word, right? You start thinking about illustrious things like, how do I get a car? How do I get a home? Right? And then you also think of budgeting sometimes of, I don't have enough. Why am I going to budget when I don't have enough to budget? Right? I only make such a certain amount of money and everything goes out the window. Well, let me tell you, everything may go out the window just because you are not writing it down. You're not budgeting. Budgeting does not have to be something illustrious. It could be something very simple. It could be just as simple as a short-term budget. For example, what are your financial goals within the next 1 to 3 years? I bet you if I ask, most people will say, hey, I want to get a car within the next 1 year. And they will work their tail off to do so. Isn't that true? But guess what? What are you going to do midterm, mid-years, 3 years to 7 years? Or what are you going to do long term, 7+ years? You see, one of the things that we fail to do is that we fail to plan. Budgeting is just a soft way of planning. That's all it really is. Why do we budget? We budget because we want to make sure that our monthly income can sustain what we are doing in our lifestyle, our life cycle, if you will. Simply put, a budget is a financial outline that is designed to measure and guide your income and your expenses, period. Whether it's monthly, quarterly, or even yearly. But a budget put into action is as simple as a balance sheet for you. You're simply balancing your income and your expenses so that you don't have to beg, borrow, or, as they say, quote unquote, steal from anyone to make sure that your family and yourself are taken care of. And yes, have you, by the way, realized that one of the biggest things on Capitol Hill today is about budgeting? But that was always the case. Now we're fighting for $15 an hour. $15 an hour. I remember when I used to work several years ago. I would not reveal my age, but you kind of guessed it. Yes. $5 an hour. $7 an hour. I remember one time I negotiated $5 an hour and ended up getting $4.50. I was not happy. This was in high school. I was totally not happy. But you know what? Several years later, we're negotiating $15 an hour. But guys, let's be honest. $15 an hour, is it really enough when we think about $15 an hour? Because 15 times 7 or 15 times 8, if you do the math, we're literally coming right back to poverty level or just barely above poverty level. And you know, here we talk about taxes. You got to pay Uncle Sam, whether you like it or not, right? And here, you know, we talk about inflation, and I went over some of that as well. And of course, unfortunately, where is our plan for our retirement if we can barely make our budget every single month? So let's think about what we're doing with our money so that we do not have to struggle, so that we do not have to get stressed. Yes, I said stress, because you know what? Stressing is a huge part of our mental health when it comes to finances in this country. It always was, but now more than ever, it has been so pronounced, so pronounced now more than ever. Hey guys, I tell you, let's go to a break and we'll be right back.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Keith Financial Fix. You're listening to Rudy Radio. Your host, Keith Simon, talking about our financial budget. And yes, last evening had some awesome conversation, so my voice is a little hoarse this morning, but that's okay. I never stop talking about this subject because it's important. So let's talk a little bit about why we end up needing a budget more so than ever. Let's talk about when you want to buy that nice car, that fancy car. You save for it. When you want to buy that Michael Jordan sneakers or any one of those expensive sneakers, the red bottom shoes, we save for it. Right, ladies? When we want to buy that motorcycle that we're longing for, we save for it. When we want to buy that fancy condo, we save for it. When we want to buy that Fendi bag, we save for it. When we want to buy the famous Bally's or clocks, we save for it. When we want to fly, we save for it. When we want to go on vacation, right? When we want to give our children anything for that matter, including video games, we save for these things, right? New gadgets, we save for them, right? I see 12, 13-year-old kids have the latest iPhone. $1,000, $800, $900 iPhone, only to break it 2 weeks after they get it. It's very interesting, but you know what? What are we going to do except that we need to have a budget? And budgeting becomes such an important aspect of what we do that we fail to budget properly. Why is that so important for us? And why am I taking such a time to talk about budgeting today? Because we're in the age of something called a coronavirus. But we were always in the age of some sort of pandemic anyway. It's just that it never hit home the way it has hit home today. Hey guys, what else has hit home? We just had recent situations where you may have ice storms, right? You may have blackouts. Are we budgeting for these things? So budget has all to do with a couple of things. When you budget, you prepare yourself with an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months for yourself and your family, or even a year worth of emergency fund. How about education fund? You have an education fund? Have you put away $10 to $15 a month even to take care of your child when he or she retire, when he or she becomes able to go to college? How about retirement planning? What are you putting away for retirement, and where are you putting it? Is it safe? Or is it in a place where you may win or you may lose? That's another question, right? The other thing that is so important, we talked about the auto insurance, we talk about cars, we talk about all of these things, but what about the insurance side of things where we need? We're going to talk about that when we come right back. You're listening to Rudy Radio. This is your host, Keith Simon. Hey, we're back. Again, this is Keith Simon. You're listening to Keith Financial Fix on Rudy Radio. Let me tell you guys, let's dive right into it. We're not even going to waste any time. We're going to dive right into why budget. How can you have a car without thinking about the insurance that you have to pay on the car? So if you purchase a car and the monthly payment of the car is $350 a month on average, what's the average insurance in your area? You have to put that in and consider that in part of your budget. So the entire car in your monthly budget may run you close to 600. Do you have the budget to prepare for that? What are you going to lose in terms of doing something else or putting something else aside? Are you going to create an emergency fund if you have a $600 budget that you have to put on the car? Are you going to be able to put something aside for your retirement in the future if you have to put everything on the car? Are you going to have space or room to put something aside for your disability insurance, your long-term care, if you have to put everything on the car? Hey guys, of course you have to have a place to live, right? Let's talk about mortgage insurance. That has to be paid as well if you have a mortgage, if you have a home. What are you putting aside for your child's college planning if you have to pay the mortgage insurance and the mortgage at the same time? So let's break this down real quickly. Just two scenarios, two big ticket items. $600 car and car insurance combined, right? Car payment, car insurance combined. $2,000. That's for your house mortgage and homeowners insurance and taxes, right? That's $2,600 a month. What do you have room for after that? By the way, do you know to take care of one of your children, if you have one or more, it's $250,000 up until age 18. That comes out to be about $1,200 a month. If you don't believe me, do the math. I may be off by a couple, but not by much, right? So add another $1,200 for your child's care. Notice I didn't say daycare, just your child care. Just to buy some what they like. Because of course every child don't need everything, and of course when we have a child we want to make sure that they're okay. We want to make sure that they're happy. So what do? We try to give them the best things to make them happy, to keep them happy. Toys cost eventually. May not seem like it because you buy a $5 toy in Target today, then you buy a $10 toy in Target 2 weeks later, and then 2 days later after that another. Before you know it, you spend $60, $70 a month in Target without having any understanding what you've done. And we never ever count the clothes that we have to buy for the kids. We just buy them because we know we have to buy them. So that's often not counted in our budget. Hey guys, why budget? This is why you budget. Let's talk about even life insurance. What happens if you cannot take care of these children because you're no longer around? Are you making 40, 50, 60,000? Or even just that 2,600? If you're no longer around, who is going to pay that? How is that going to get paid? I tell you, when I look at this thing called budget, I remember years ago, it was a big word to me, but no longer. It just means that you take care of your expenses and then you see what is left over. If enough is not left over, that means that you have to make more and then you have to look and see how much you can cut down on your expenses, whether it's bottled water, whether it's the latte, the coffee, right? Or even needing to take food to work twice a month, twice a day, twice a week. Yes, I said twice a month because sometimes you may think that you're making about $6,000 a month. So that's kind of okay, but it's really not okay. It adds up. If you live in a place like New York City, $20 is your lunch money, no less. If you live in a big city like California, $20 is your lunch money, nothing less. And for you to eat healthy, $20 should be about right when it comes to your lunch money anyway. Unless you prepare from home, you cut up the potatoes, you cut up the apples, the oranges, and so on, and let that be your awesome lunch, right? The salad, whatever the case is. But you have to do that if you know that your expenses is becoming more than what you have coming into your pocket or into the household. Hey guys, like I said, we got to prepare. We have to prepare. We have no choice. Preparation is very, very, very important. And without that preparation, money flies out the window fast and very fast, faster than we think, because we want to live our everyday life making sure that everything is in place now, today. But what happens to tomorrow? What happens if you die too soon? What do your family do? How are your family going to carry on? We want to leave something for them in the form of life insurance. What if you live too long? How are they going to carry on to take care of you when it comes to your retirement? But what happens, unfortunately, if we call it half dead? In other words, you don't live too long, you don't die too soon, but you start having some disabilities, and disability that will cripple you for a long time. Knee surgeries, for example, is a big one. Who's going to take care of you while you're recovering for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, sometimes 10 weeks? Who's going to take care of you? Because of course you're immobile at that point. You can barely walk, therefore you can't stand up. You can't stand in the shower. You can't even put your foot in the bathtub because it hurts. You may be able to feed yourself, but you cannot bathe yourself. You cannot clothe yourself. No matter how old or how young you are, long-term care plays a huge role in our life, and it therefore will play a huge role in our budgeting. So we have to prepare for long-term care, long-term disability as well. I tell you, I am loving this subject because I know for sure when I bring this subject to others, I'm bringing it to you just the same. And one of the main things about budgeting is that we worry about having a big or small budget. I don't have enough. Well, outside of the big ticket items, what about the Netflix? Right? These days, Netflix is huge. I even watched that. Unfortunately, I even watched that Netflix stocks just shot up. Right? Who would have thought? But that's okay. It's the same with everything else. At some point, something go up and something go down. Your car loan won't go down, right? It's what it is. Student loans. As grown adults, we still have student loans these days. It's one of the other things that's been fought vigorously on Capitol Hill today. Do you have, and how can I get it forgiven? because I can't take care of my student loan and my children's student loan all at the same time. 300,000, 400,000. These are prices of homes. So the big ticket items are no longer just the big ticket items. We have to look and really, really carve out a budget where we could take care of one thing at a time or two things at a time. But at the same time, we still have to have a plan for our long-term care, long-term retirement. So we have to have a 1 year, 6 months, 1 year plan. We have to have a 1 to 3 year plan. And then we have to have a 7+ year plan. If we can do that, then I guarantee you, we will be on the right track of budgeting. Again, you're listening to Keith Simon with Keith Finance Fix, and we're on Rudy Radio. We'll be right back.
Years ago, the family doctor was someone who came to your home. And while that practice has faded into memory, there is someone who keeps the tradition of personal health care alive. Your local Health Mart pharmacist knows you by name, not by refill number. Stop by your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy and see how the tradition of personal health care lives on. Visit healthmart.com for the location near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
This is what your business sounds like without Audible Reach. This is what your business sounds like with Audible Reach. Audible Reach. Sounds like you mean business.
Hey, welcome back again. You're listening to Rudy Radio. This is Keith Simon and your Keith Finance and Keith Financial Fix. Hey, I want to jump into something else that is so important when it comes to budgeting. We have to reevaluate, right? We talked about reevaluating and making sure things are on the right track. But one of the things that is affecting our budget, a major thing that is affecting our budget, is something called credit cards. Swipe, swipe, swipe. So let's break down the credit card for you. Monday, I decide, hey, breakfast, $10, no big deal. Tuesday, I decided I'm running out the house again. Breakfast, $10, swipe, no big deal. Wednesday, swipe. Thursday, swipe. Friday, swipe. That's 5 days in a row, $10. The last time I checked, that may work out to be about $50. Hey guys, imagine if you then add lunch to that, which I said lunch was about what? $20 in New York City. So let's go to the median. Let's say about $15. Let's say you got lunch only twice. Only twice for the week. That's $30 on top of $50. That's $80. Let's say about 4 o'clock, 4:30, you're not feeling well. You're feeling drowsy. You're like, okay, you know what? I need a cup of coffee on the way home. So you get a boost, a cup of latte, $7. That's separate from breakfast. If you do that twice a week, or even if you do that once a week on a Friday evening, traffic is tight, right? A little bit of a longer day. That's an extra $7. Hey guys, if you're driving, we didn't talk about gas. If you're on the train, like in New York City, or even if you have to take an Uber, we didn't talk about transportation. All of these things has to be accounted for when we talk about budgeting. So you see, again, it goes back to, it's not just the word budget based on what I have, how much I'm making. And there's a cliche that people say, hey, stop watching my money. What money? You don't have enough. But even if you do, if you're not budgeting, you're going to lose a lot. It's going to fly out of your pocket, literally, because you think that you have more than enough. Hey guys, that is called living below your means. If you have enough and you take care of your budget, you live below your means, you will have enough for the future. However, if you do the opposite and live above your means, you will not have enough for the future. You know what I found out? If you live above your means, you will not have enough for the present either. Let that one digest. You will not have enough for the present. So we have to eliminate a couple of things, right? We talk about some elimination of maybe cable TV or reduce it. Cell phone bill, reduce it. You don't have to upgrade this year. Your kids don't have to upgrade this year. Most kids use their cell phone to play games. To play games. Do you really need a $1,000 cell phone just to play games on? Don't get me started on gym membership. Let me tell you, I have not been to the gym in a while. I try to eat right, so I'm doing okay. But guys, let me tell you, if you have a gym membership, go to the gym. If you have a gym membership, go to the gym. If you have a gym membership, go to the gym. Your health is your wealth, and your wealth is your health. If you're not physically healthy, then financial health will disappear. So notice I'm not telling you to cancel your gym membership. But guess what? If you're truly not going, then yeah, you're going to have to cancel your gym membership. Wouldn't you agree? How about using some coupons in grocery store? I think this is one of the better things that ever came out that we don't use. Coupons. What is stopping you from using coupons? What is stopping you from saving a couple of bucks? Is it that you make too much? Or is it that you're just not budgeting? How about reducing your utilities, your light, gas, water? That's also very important. How do you do that? The same way you do everything else. You physically look at your expenses and you cut down. How do I aim to cut down on my $80 water bill or my $80 electric bill? Look and see where you can. In some cases, you may not be able to. Find a way to cut down on that budget in other places. So let's quickly talk about some tips as we bring this budgeting to a close. Don't spend more money than you have. We talked about that just now, right? Overspending. That just means that you're living above your means. It's not easy to not have or to not work for enough. But sometimes it means that you have to sacrifice a little bit and then go back. Sometimes you may have to go back to school. Sometimes you may have to take on another trade. Sometimes you may have to work 2 jobs. I've seen people work 3 jobs. I have worked 2 jobs in this country for a while, which I said I would never do. But guess what? I ended up doing it before I started in the financial industry. Yeah. I had a part-time job as a social worker while doing financial planning. If you have coupons, use them. Find them. Right? How about just staying on track? That's called discipline. Track your progress. If you save $10 this month, how can you save $10 next month? Discipline. Stay disciplined. Take time to remind yourself that you have to be disciplined. Write it down. It's called budgeting. Simple budgeting. You don't have to pull out a spreadsheet with all of these wonderful things on there and all of these numbers. No, make it simple. Because the key to budgeting is to remember that you are trying to reach a goal. What is that goal? That goal is really to stay within your means, live within your means, have enough so that you can do what you want now and later. So for the person who says, well, I'm not even making $15 an hour. Been there, done that. So don't get the car. Unfortunately, delay it. But I need my car for work. Okay. So then, decide that you're not going to buy any clothes for 1 or 2 months so that you could save. So that if anything happens to this car, you're able to take care of it because it's taking care of you and it's taking care of your family when it comes to having an income. So you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize so that you are at the point where you can do what you want to do as opposed to what you always have to do. It reduces the stress. It really does. Hey guys, I tell you, I am excited about this topic. Every time I talk about this topic even refresh me, rejuvenate me in what I need to do. So as I'm speaking to you guys, I am really also talking to myself. Hey, Keith, go check your budget. See where you are, how much you're making. Don't buy that Porsche Cayenne if you're not making enough. Go get a Toyota. Go get a Maxima. They're very nice. Just the same. So guys, as we wrap up this show, we really want people to understand. We want you to understand, as well as ourselves to understand, myself to understand, that you have to stay on budget. Budgeting is not a dream, it's a decision. Make that decision and stay on budget so that you can reach your financial goal. I'm Keith Simon. This is Keith Financial Fix.